The untold part of the Jimmy Garoppolo saga is this. The Niners, there was something they know he doesn't provide that forced them, in their minds, to go out and get another quarterback. There's something that they know everybody else doesn't know. Like one of the telltale signs of what you'd really think of somebody. Now in college sports, guys transfer year to year, and one reason guys leave is their coach leaves. And we see it in the NFL where a guy will follow his position coach or follow a coordinator or follow his head coach somewhere else, right? We see that all the time. And I remember, do you guys remember Matt Flynn? I know Beyer does. Beyer's sitting there going, yeah, I remember that. Remember that game? It was against, I think, the Detroit Lions. Last game he played in the Green Bay Packer uniform was week 17. And I want to say he threw 5 touchdown passes.
I think it was 6.
Maybe 6. Yeah, I'm going to go. Okay. Do you remember who his offensive coordinator was? Joe Philbin.
Oh, okay.
Right? And Joe Philbin, during that offseason, left to become the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. Matt Flynn ended up signing with the Seattle Seahawks. He got beat out by Russell Wilson. So what I took from it is, if Joe Philbin coaches this guy, if Joe Philbin's in the quarterback room with this guy every day, Joe Philbin gets a head coaching job, and the first call he makes isn't to a free agent quarterback who knows his system, like, hey, man, just come in, run my system for you. You'd be great. This would be a great opportunity. We've been talking about this for years. We're boys. Let's go. Let's go together. Let's do it. When he didn't do that, you had to know he thought Matt Flynn couldn't play. Turns out Matt Flynn couldn't play at that level. Matt Flynn was a great backup. And I think he ended up coming back, circling back around to play with the Packers and actually get a chance to play a little bit with the Packers when Aaron Rodgers broke his collarbone a couple years ago. Anyway, the point is that when you have the inside info, you know if a guy can play and can't play. You know if a guy has a limitation, doesn't have a limitation. Because you live with them. You eat, sleep, breathe around them. You know. So while we're all celebrating Jimmy G getting his job back and be like, man, that just feels better, feels like it makes a lot more sense, you do know that the Niners believe they know something about Jimmy Garoppolo, which made them have to go get another quarterback. Right? This wasn't like a quarterback just showed up and said, like, hey, man, let me throw some footballs for you. Like, we just gave him a shot and turns out he's great. No, they had to trade multiple picks to move. They had to move mountains to move up in the first round to secure Trey Lance. They had to answer questions all of last year, all of this offseason, eventually going like, look, it's Trey Lance's team. And try and move Jimmy Garoppolo. And then the weird thing was, not sure there was a landing spot for him. He comes back to the same team and like, we're going to pay you backup pay. This, to me, the Niners know. Doesn't matter what they say. They know there's something. Now, look, I don't think the injury thing is the thing, although they've tried to tell people it's the injury thing. I do think it's that he'll have that one implosion moment per half. You're like, who is he throwing the ball to? Is he shaving points? But more than anything, my guess is in that gigantic series of moments in the Super Bowl against Kansas City Chiefs, overthrowing Emmanuel Sanders, some of the other misreads, the other overall ineptitude, but whatever they saw from him, they believe it doesn't matter what we do, can't win a title with him. It's the only reason you would go to a Super Bowl, go to an NFC Championship game, and then you'd say, like, we don't really like this quarterback. Well, let's get an unproven youngster who is a really, really good player. But is he definably better than Jimmy Garoppolo? Maybe they know something we don't, and that's what makes him definably better. You know, you know your own players, you know your own coaches way better than anybody else. That's why you call those people. I had an assistant coach in college. I won't tell you what college it was. I won't tell you what coach it was. But I had an assistant coach in college who got a really good head coaching job. And I remember the next day we all walked in the locker room and were like, he got what? There's no chance. None. Players, no. Players, absolutely, positively, no. But they know because they work with the guy. It's like Aaron Rodgers swore by Nathaniel Hackett, but how would he know Nathaniel Hackett as a head coach, as an offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, a guy to relate to? Great, different skill set. When it's the same job, or when you're promoting from within, everybody should know. You know what it's like? It's like, here's a better one. It's like if you're in a relationship, it's been going a while, and somebody says, are you going to marry her? And you're like, I don't know. If you say, I don't know, you do know. You don't want to marry her, but you don't want to go through all of the different psychological leaps, if you will, to have to make that change.